let's take a moment to talk about a common subject that you'll hear people talking about when they're trying to train others to fight. And sometimes people have this question for me, and my answer is something outside the norm of what they're used to hearing. In the middle of a fight, what do I watch? What do I look at when I'm fighting? And some people will tell you, oh yeah, well, look at their eyes, right? Keep looking at their eyes, because that guy right there, if I look at your eyeballs, right, I can see where you're looking, where you're going to go. But does that really help you to look at my eyes if I'm looking over there when I'm fighting you? I do that a lot. I look off over somebody's shoulder and it like freaks them out. Because if we're squared up here and I'm like here, and instead I'm fighting you like this, watching my eyes doesn't do much good. Also, just keep an eye on their face or their head. Well, what good does that do you when I drop down behind here? Now you've just lost your ability to track. Same thing. Other people say, well, watch their hands, watch their basket hilt. That'll tell you where it's going to go, right? Well, again, that's really easy to mislead people with like small pumps in whatever direction and get people to bite on that. Plus, again, it's one of those things, if I'm here and I bring this back here, have you lost all your ability to track the fight now that you can't actually see my hand? Because I can come from down here. I can pop up over here, out here. So, and then you'll get other people say, oh, watch their hips. Well, that'd be great if I stood out here all the time and you could like watch my hips, see what direction I'm going to go. And then I shut it off like this. It's like, where are my hips going, right? No, they're actually going that way. So watch their feet. You can't really watch people's feet very effectively in armored combat or unarmored combat, especially with sword and shield, if the second your shield that's normally sitting like this goes like this, you can't see this guy's feet anymore. You just can't. Take the Pell, for instance, there. You're here, you're all, oh yeah, I can see his feet, and then you bring your shield over to block, and now you can't see his feet anymore. So, if you're looking at a specific target on an opponent, center chest, my winged sword symbol here, I'm Batman. No, but if that's there, but my shield's here, you can't see that anymore. You can't tell where I'm going to push or pull to. So, looking at a specific point on people is not advisable to me. What I do often is I will sit out there and look over your shoulder when I'm fighting a lot. Or I just look wherever my eyes happen to land. I'm not like focused. You know how you can like look at something and then kind of blur your vision out? You're kind of just taking in the entire scene. That's what you should be doing in most fights. You shouldn't be focusing on their hand, where their hand's going. You shouldn't be focusing on, where are their feet pointed exactly? Because then they know to, hide the feet. Or when they're in super close, you can't track that, right? But if you get a general perception, at the same time as I'm going to pretend you're not just a camera here, you're standing there. If I'm just looking up over there, I can still see your head. I can still see down here your feet. As a matter of fact, probably better than if I'm like just looking at something, because my peripheral vision will pick it up and like file that data to my brain. I can respond to changes in the entire scene versus if you're just focused on my forehead, and you don't see this sword coming down from the bottom here, or you're focused on my hand and you don't necessarily see the other things that I'm doing. So kind of get a general picture of what's going on. Kind of look at your opponent and take in everything. Let me back up a little bit here. So you don't want to just look at one little tiny part of me. You just kind of glaze your eyes a little bit and then pick up everything from the legs and the feet to the hand to the, arms, the head, the eyes. Well, not so much the eyes, because the eyes will deceive you. So just take in that kind of all over view, that big perspective, kind of like I said, defocus on specifics and then just take in the entire view, and you'll be able to track the fight much better. It'll be much more difficult for people to fake you out. Because if you're over focused on a part of somebody's body and they know it, then they'll be able to manipulate your responses much easier by moving that part of the body or by hiding it. So that's, in a nutshell, what I tell people to focus on when you fight. Basically, in a fight, what you focus on is the fight. The entire being of your opponent and yourself, but really your opponent. You try to take in them fully, right? Not just focusing on one little part of them, because you're going to end up getting stuck and you're going to miss other cues and other things if you're just looking at one thing. It's much better to have like an 80-90% input from everything else versus just 100% on his basket hilt or something. So try and bring in as much information as possible. Try to make it as general a view as possible, and stop worrying about, I got to make sure to watch his eyes, watch his head, watch his shoulders, watch his hips, watch his hand, whatever. Just start taking it all in at once, and then your mind will coalesce a picture for you. Alrighty, catch you next time.